Hello everyone, it's great to have you with us today. To introduce myself, I'm Rob Stevenette, Head of Church Partnership at TLG, and it's my privilege to welcome Neil, who's going to be sharing more about his experience of working with TLG, but also in more recent times running a Box of Hope project. So Neil, could you introduce yourself, where you're based, and just your journey with TLG?
Sure. So I'm Neil. I'm the Children's and Families Worker at Chester-Le-Street Methodist Church in the northeast of England. I've been in my role for 18 months and started thinking about working in this sort of field of supporting families who might be finding it difficult to provide food during school holidays or other times, just over a year ago, or around a year ago. And it's been quite a journey that's been a real blessing for us as a church community.
Fantastic, thank you. What has holiday hunger looked like in Chester-Le-Street? Kind of what needs have you seen? Has it been very, very visible?
Yeah, I think difficult to say whether visible or not. When we were investigating this project, we sort of looked at the numbers. There's about 24,000 people live in Chester-Le-Street, and the statistics showed that there might be around 800 children who were at risk of not having enough food during school holidays, and that seemed, just in quite a small town, just a really significant number of families who would need that support. And in speaking to schools we work with, we know that in different parts of the town it's a different situation. So one school it might be a handful of families who are in receipt of free school meals, but in another school it might be over half of the school's population in that position. So yeah, there's different schools and different parts of the town in different positions, but that need is absolutely there, and it's just that. Just imagining what it must be like as a parent or a carer trying to just put together what they know that their children need and just feeling stretched to do it well. So I really wanted to just be a blessing to those families and to help them out in the situation that they're in.
Fantastic, thank you. You've done a great job in setting up Make Lunch over the last year, and as we went into lockdown just a few weeks before the Easter holiday, which would usually be a really active time for Make Lunch clubs. It's been great to see you and the team take on Box of Hope. What's that looks like for you? Kind of what really grabbed you about Box of Hope kind of a few months ago?
So we were really excited about where we'd got to with Make Lunch around February half term, because we maybe had a little slow start around Christmas. We decided not to launch at October. We were just not quite ready. So we launched at Christmas, and it was a time that was difficult for families to come. But February we had 13, 14 families join us over 2 sessions, which was brilliant. Kind of 40 people gathered in the same room, getting to know each other, a real buzz. And we were really looking forward to growing these relationships from that start. And of course, we got to a few weeks before Easter, and we knew we weren't going to be meeting. But straight away we were able to launch into something else. We knew that the need was still very much there, and in fact that the need was probably going to grow. We weren't quite sure at that stage what schools were able to provide for those children who would normally be in the building accessing free school meals. So we were able to work with another local Methodist church to cook meals and get those delivered. But we know what was a particular blessing to those families was that we were also able to put in a little activity pack each week with just a few resources and just something different for the families to do. We kind of had some resources that were around being creative, something about being active, something about being reflective. And we know they were a real blessing, and it was great to receive photos and comments of the kind of things that families had done together as a result of those little activity sheets. And also just great that one of our volunteers was there on the doorstep, handing over a delivery every week, getting to know the family a little bit deeper, just providing that bit of personal connection at a time where I think a lot of people just were trapped in the house and felt kind of unable to get out. So just seeing someone at a distance was a real blessing.
Fantastic. Thank you. Love that creativity. It's been brilliant to see churches of all shapes and sizes run boxes of hope in a way that really works in their context. So whether it's including food for a few days, household items, encouragement, inflow of support services. There's just so much that can go into a box of hope that will make a big difference to families. Could you share perhaps some stories? What difference have you seen it make for families that you're connecting with?
I think there's been a real deepening of relationships. I mean, obviously every family is different, but it's been great that being stuck at home gave me the time to ring families, to speak to them. And although that wasn't face to face, I just felt that we were able to deepen the relationship there. So that was fantastic. I know that they've sort of been blessed by that kind of holistic thing, that it's not just a case of here's some food to keep you going for a little bit. It's about relationship, it's about activities, it's about engagement. We've had a couple of families who've joined our monthly jigsaw worship session, which we've been running online since lockdown. So that's been brilliant to welcome them and get them involved in that. And just I feel that we've deepened relationships, and also over time we've been able to adapt the project. And initially we started just supporting the families that we were already engaged with that came to us in February. But more recently we've been able to engage with already one new family, but going into the school holidays, I've just got back in touch with a few contacts in the community, and that's given us a few other families that we're hoping to set up very, very soon. So we've been able to start new relationships as well as at this time.
That's so great to hear, and excited to see kind of where that leads as you continue to support those families. So just finally, what would you say to a church that's thinking about setting up a Box of Hope program with TLG? What would be your advice?
I think my advice would be to look at your context and just think about where you are, what your situation is, and what resource you have in terms of people who might be able to cook or shop or deliver. And don't feel that you need to be able to do this to do something massive, to go out and serve hundreds of families out there in the community. That's not going to be possible for most contexts. But if you get in touch with some community organisations, a local school perhaps, they'd be able to support you in identifying some families who would really feel blessed by what you can offer with a Make Lunch Box of Hope. And do it with God's love. Pray about it. Go in with a smile on your face and an expectation that you're going to get to know these families with a view to really developing a relationship, and a relationship which in the future can lead to you sharing the love of Jesus with them as well. Fantastic. Well, Neil, thank you so much. It's great to hear your heart and loved hearing what you've been up to as a church in running Box of Hope, and also through Make Lunch as well. And we would love to continue
conversations and start lots of conversations with Methodist churches across the country. So do feel free to get in touch with the TLG team through our website and through the content that's going to be shared this week. We would love to tell you more about Box of Hope and how it can help you support children and families across this summer. So yeah, really appreciate you tuning in today, and hope you have a great rest of the week. Thank you.
Thank you.